And so this leads me into my next. So in this seller's market, like what can a buyer do to be more competitive, to stand out?
All right, here's
Can you share your secrets with us?
all my secrets. You ready? I'm
I'm
lifting the
ready.
veil
I'm
just for
recording.
you,
You're good. Go
Wendy.
ahead.
Okay, excellent. So, all right, initially it starts with the first phone call to the agent. You have to build rapport. You have to convey professionalism. You have to convey that you're going to be super easy to work with. I have an assistant that can take care of all the paperwork for me and the listing agent as soon as we go under contract. You know, that's a great incentive. Even though there's no monetary value to it, it's going to make their life easier. Then the next step is when you write your offer, you have to make the best offer from the get-go. You know, don't wait for highest and best. Come in right now with our best foot forward. And if need be, we can always renegotiate during the due diligence period. So here's some strategies to making a super strong offer. Whatever your down payment is going to be, you know, make that amount close to your earnest money. That says a lot. Like, I'm serious. You know, this is, everybody else is going to do 1% of the purchase price, which is typical. And so if you do multiples of that, well, that's one thing that's going to make you stand out. Even though it could be $1 or $100,000, it's still going to be protected by the contingencies in place, and you'll have time to renegotiate. But basically, if you're planning on using that for your down payment anyways, that's one way of making you stand out. Next is to have a low due diligence. A lot, you know, I would say the industry average is 10 to 14 days. And so if you have something that's like 3 days, then again, that's really going to make you stand out. So as soon as you go under contract, you schedule the inspection, and I have enough inspectors that I can get somebody for sure tomorrow, maybe even today, and get the report back in hand that same day. So that still leaves you a full 24 hours to renegotiate based on the repairs that are needed. Next is to potentially waive the financing or appraisal contingencies. So that way I can compete with cash offers. So it's risk, right? There's risk there because if your client loses their job, or now they're not getting their earnest money back because there is no financing contingency. But oftentimes I have clients that tell me there's zero chance I'm going to lose my job in the next 14 days. Then the next one is waiving the appraisal contingency. If the house comes below, if the appraisal comes back below the purchase price, well, your client is now responsible for that cash difference. If you were to not come to an agreement when renegotiating with the seller, they would get their earnest money back. But if you waive it, then of course they don't. But now I can compete with cash offers because those contingencies are waived, and going into it, I already know, of course, within a certain margin, what the house is going to appraise for. And right now, buyers that really want a house are even okay paying a little bit for, and I tell them, look, you may have to come up with $10,000 in additional to your down payment based on what I'm seeing and where we're going with the purchase price. Next, this is one of my personal favorites right here, escalation clauses. So this says that if, say the house is listed at $300,000, we're going to offer $310,000, but we're going to beat any other offer that you can provide to us in full within 24 hours of binding by $2,000 up to $330,000. And this is a great way to tell your clients, look, this is how much you're willing to pay, but you know that you're not going to pay more than $2,000 of the second highest offer. And so you're still at the market price, and but you're not going to overpay, right? Within up to what your maximum is. That's one that I really like. Next, when you write your offers, it should all be in one PDF. It should have all of the exhibits, the proof of funds, the financing contingencies, the seller property disclosure, the community association disclosures, lead-based paint if necessary. All of that should all be in one PDF in the right order, and with everything already signed by all parties representing the buyers, so that the sellers, if they like it, it's already all there. And don't send several attachments. Don't send several emails. Send it all in one place. When you send your offer, this is another one of my personal favorites. I always include a cover page, and it explains a little bit about myself. It explains a little bit about my clients. I also outline all of the terms of the offer so that they don't have to click on the offer to go back and see what was the due diligence. Again, make it as easy as possible for the listing agent. Oftentimes, the listing agent has an attorney that they like as well. And so calling them when you're building that rapport, I always ask, hey, what's your favorite attorney? And I make sure that attorney is the one that's listed on the offer as well. Going back to the cover page, one of the things that I love to do is to get my clients to write a letter, or even better, make a video about themselves. And when we know that we're going to make an offer on this house, I actually make a video of them at the house saying what they love about the house, complimenting the decor and the looks, and saying how they would love to just make this their home and take it over from, you know, the seller's home. And immediately it helps build rapport with the sellers. Another personal favorite of mine is I have great relationships with a handful of lenders. And, you know, sometimes my clients have their own lenders, but sometimes they ask me for lenders. And when it's one of those lenders, I call that lender and I say, hey, can you call the listing agent? And can you tell them, you know, how awesome our mutual client is, their credit worthiness, their job stability, you know, the amount of their down payment, the great interest rate that they have. And so then when the listing agent is going over all the multiple offers, they're like, oh, you know, this guy, yeah, they're doing a conventional loan, and I spoke to the lender. They're not going to say the lender called. They're just going to say they spoke to the lender. He really vouched for them. They're strong financially. And again, it's one more thing that makes you stand out. So, and then after that, once I've submitted the offer, I never ask to confirm receipt or anything like that. Most agents will, but it just gives me an opportunity to follow back up later and to gauge, okay, hey, you know, where are we compared to everybody else? Because I would say 90% of agents hit send and that's it, it's over. You know, I want to call back and see, where are we? You know, do we need to reassess? You know, yes, what, how, you know, tell me. Yeah, I feel like we've got great synergy here. I really want to work with you. What do I need to do to make this work? And so when you combine all of these things, Wendy, you know, it's like one small thing here, one small thing there, one small thing there. And you get properties when you're not even the most competitive price point one.
Right. So do I have to pay you for all your insider information that you just gave me? Oh, so what you're telling me is you're like the buyer's shark agent. Like you just do what you can to get it done. And you know, and it's interesting because everybody has a different way of doing things. And it's almost like it just depends on the type of client that you are, you know, like if you're serious and you really want a house, like you need someone that's following some of these procedures that you do, because it's too competitive to just kind of go along and put in an offer and let's see what happens. So, you know,
Absolutely.
I'll have to like send you a check or something, I guess, for all the stuff you just told me.